Oh, sorry.
The world is changing, and so does change. But the mind has the potential to capture the changing world and make every change count. At Skills Mindset, the leading global skills, strategy and corporate development company, we believe that the mind has the potential of transforming the man from obscurity to prominence. It's the reason why we make skills our business. At Skills Mindset, we stand for change, for development and for success. We challenge, we inspire and we lead. With Skills Mindset, your limit is just the beginning. Welcome to Skills Mindset. For more information about the great service we provide, please visit our website on www.skillsmindset.com or give us a call on our UK number on 07957 676 193. Better still, send us an email on info@skillsmindset.com. Skills Mindset. Challenging limits, maximising opportunities.
Hello. Yes,
Okay.
hello. Yes, can you see me, Mary? Can you hear me? Good, good. Anthony, good to see you all.
Now I
Hello,
can't hear you.
everyone. Yeah, hello, everyone. Yes, welcome to this month Skills Mindset Masterclass. We're in December, so season's greetings to you all. I believe you all are enjoying the holidays and then, of course, times of reflection and times of, thinking ahead as to the challenges and opportunities that we have ahead of us. So, Mary, I believe you are good. And Anthony, I believe you are fine. Yeah. Yeah, you are muted, actually. Okay. So I just want to be sure that you all can hear me and you can see me as well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Good to see you. Good to have you. Mary, good to see you. Good to have you. It's your first time on the Skills Mindset Masterclass. You are welcome. So,
Welcome, Mary.
yeah, I'm not sure if Mary can still hear me. I'm not getting response from her. Mary, can you hear me? Can you see us? I doubt. Anyway, friends, while we deal with that IT issue there, I just want to welcome everyone and greetings to you all. We are delighted to have you join us again for another live session of this exclusive and transformative, life experience, Skills Mindset Masterclass. So please, while you are joining us, we would like you to let us know where you are joining us from, where you are, the city and the country in which you are joining us from. It will be important that we know where you are and where you are, being part of this, uh, you know, uh, experience tonight. So we are in the UK, and of course the time is 5 minutes past the hour. And I believe wherever you are, it will be nice for us to know so that we can just welcome you, and of course give you the compliments of the season. All right. So you are all welcome, everyone. You're welcome to this episode of this masterclass. Please let us know. We'll pick it up and then, of course, have a shout out to you as we go on in this presentation. So, welcome to this awakening moment as we'll embark on a journey together, to explore yet another power mind resource of experienced experts. As you know, we bring in experts from month to month, helping us, sharing experience, and of course, Nugget and their expertise in terms of what issues at stake. So together, we will uncover and enhance opportunities for skills development, business progression, professional growth, and leadership for everyone. That is what it's all about. Today is no exception. Our purpose is to bring attention to a vital subject that can greatly influence the people, and of course, your organization. We will focus on the importance of a new year planner. Okay, we will go into details about that as a tool and, of course, as a strategy for us moving forward into the new year, having had a reflection of the previous year or perhaps this year. So this will definitely encourage deep, actionable insights and inspired, progress as we launch into the new year. Okay, so our guests today are highly skilled. They are proficient and professionals who possess extensive and needed knowledge in this area that we are going to talk about, particularly of business and personal development. So please join me um, as we welcome our discussant today, Miss Mary Ipadeola and Anthony Adesile. I think Mary just dropped off the stage. She will join us in a minute, but because I like to just introduce her immediately. But while we are waiting for her, I think it will be a good time as well to introduce Anthony, because I was going to introduce Mary first, actually, being a lady and the first lady on the Skills Mindset Masterclass. What a wonderful time we're going to have together tonight. But again, Anthony has been a guest and has been a part of this journey. And of course, not only because he sits on the board of the Skills Mindset as an organization, Anthony is an experienced resource development practitioner who, of course, specializes in learning and development of individuals and organizations. As you may know or not, he is the creator or pioneer of the Personal Process Development Plan, which we are known as PPDP, and of course, Career Aspiration Program, which is otherwise known as CAP. In addition to his development initiatives, he works as a recruitment specialist and an advisor for both startups and established businesses. Okay, he said his expertise covers personal and corporate strategy, as well as branding, offering a holistic approach to career leadership and corporate development and management. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to introduce Anthony to you. Anthony, you are welcome to the December episode of the Skills Mindset Masterclass.
Yeah, thank you, Gbenga. I mean, it's nice to be here, especially given that today is the last day of the year.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how we progress into the new year.
Lovely. Lovely. It's actually going to be a very nice time to do a kind of a review of what's happened this year or what's done and what is not done this year, how that can help us to prepare agenda into the coming year, which is, of course, we are all looking up to. I mean, we are all respecting. I'm not sure if Mary is back now. I'd like to just put her back on stage. Can you help me put her back on stage, please? Let me see if I can do that. I think she's on stage, isn't it? She is.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes. So we can't see you. Your video is off.
No, she's live on video.
Really? Why can't I see her then?
I can see her.
All right.
I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's all right. I don't know why I can't see you. Sorry about that. Okay. Now Mary is a new guest. I mean, first time guest on the Skills Mindset Masterclass. Everyone who cares to be part of this journey since the beginning of it from January this year. But with 30 years of experience in sustainable business and impact investment in the UK, Mary has emerged as a transformative leader in sustainable development. And as a founder of Mujere Invest Hub and Rising Drive Coaching, she focuses on empowering entrepreneurs and bridging the gap between visionary ideas and sustainable growth. Mary is dedicated to making a significant impact in the sustainable development sector, working diligently to promote positive change and foster inclusive growth in global market. Mary, you are welcome, and welcome to your first edition, first episode, the Skills Master Masterclass, and also being the last episode in the year 2024. What a privilege we have. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And apologies for the technical hiccups. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. And yeah, happy proposed new year in the next couple of days. And I hope we can dialogue and have a deep chat into the very interesting topic of the importance of having a new year planner. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. What a privilege to have you joining us today. And I think we're going to have a very brilliant, experience today. I've been coming from your sector, and of course, what the wealth of experience you've got, and now we can't wait to hear what you've got to share. All right. And again, while we're settling in, I want us, please, those who are joining with us or participating or watching us, to please state where you are joining from. We would like to know where you are. Professor Debi from Nigeria, you're welcome. Season's greetings to you, sir. You're welcome. Thank you always. That's a very good one. And of course, to those who are joining from Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, YouTube. You are all welcome. You're welcome. Some have not they've not been able to put in their city and their country. But again, you are welcome all the same. So while we're setting up, we want to just say, both of you, do you want to tell us more about yourself, what you have been doing, just in a nutshell, and of course, why you are doing what you're doing, and then we will then dive into the business of the day. Let me start with Mary. Mary, what about you? What is it all about you? And why are you doing that?
Well, there's thank you, Mr. Lawal. There's a lot about me. I'm one of the top part of my, interests. I have many interests, but when I look at the professional side of my life, I've had deep interest and knowledge, expertise, specialities in business development. So I started from a very young age of 14, and I delved into the family business. My father is a chartered accountant. He went to Cambridge, so I had no choice. I delved into the accountancy profession, and from there, I run different businesses. With other organizations, corporate organizations, where I've taken on um, executive roles and board roles. So I have a deep understanding of the in and out of what happened in an organization, where you can start from zero and be talking about the millions as well, the failures in businesses, just general business. But aside from that, what drives me more is my creativity, where I can be able to turn ideas into solutions, looking at challenges and problems and finding solutions. So that's my key areas of focus. And I use that to help organizations sit in a strategic position where I can help them in a sustainable way. So from there, that brought my interest into sustainable investment after the 2008 financial crisis,
Mm,
which made me realize how we, the actual language of money and what we do when we play with money, the history and the future of where we're going with money. And it's all now about sustainability. Can we keep money in any areas of our life, in business, whatever? So I delved into that and has been specialized in sustainable investment, sustainable business building for corporate organizations in the UK, in Africa, and also dealing with entrepreneurs as well to help them in a way where we can build sustainable ventures. So that's my line of expertise. But when it comes to other aspect of why I balance my life with business and my lifestyle. It's all about what drives me. And so what drives me is actually not the money, it's the combination of those experiences, what makes me authentic as a person and how I can channel that and be of value to other people. And the first way I did that is about looking at my own challenges. And that's one of the reasons I'm here today, looking at it, things that have kind of set me back when it comes to productivity. If you're a creative person now, you have so much in your head, you just want to do everything at the same time. I'm a perfectionist, so you never get anything completed.
Yeah.
But I learned the hard lessons, what happens when you do that. And I have to fall at the back of different mentors, both people I know face to face. I have to pay for the services. You need to invest in yourself to become who you want to become. Others I don't know, maybe virtually, programs like this. And I had to be, become the test. So I have to become the student. And that's one of the reason recently I set up my Pomodoro program, which is just a live session where I share my time online. And that's a discipline for me to make myself accountable to my task and what I need to get done. And I'll
Mm.
say proudly, since I've been having that in practice, actually I started with a group of friends, professional friends from all over the world, and it just became my game. It's something that grounds me and gets me away from that ideologue that I never get out of my head because I want to do everything, being somebody very creative. And I realize it's both solutions to myself, my life, the people around me, companies I support, businesses I support. And I said, why not share that with the world? Yeah, so I'm happy to be here today and to join in the conversation. So I could go on forever. As I say, I'm very creative, but you know a bit more about me now. Maybe
Yeah,
next time we have time to share more. Thank you.
definitely. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you. You don't have to talk everything now. We've got time.
That was a
But
big question. Tell us about
it's
you. You
okay.
should have
It's
actually
okay.
asked me one question.
It's okay. You are good. You're good. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. I mean, I know a bit of what you do, and we've had a lot of discussion, a lot of meetings, a lot of chats, behind the scene, and I know that you got a lot running, and then I don't know where you get your energy from, but please, you know what, keep going. Thank you so much for that. We're gonna drain some of the energy tonight, I guess. So yeah, without wasting time, let's just quickly and briefly go to Anthony. So just tell us, yeah, I know he's also into a few things that are very interesting, not only to personal, development, but also to organization. But while we're doing that, we will then go into the business of the day. Anthony, can you just tell us in a nutshell what it
Thank you
is you're
very much.
doing? Why? Mm.
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe you've done a proper introduction already. Um, I just need to add to the fact that this journey started many years ago, and you were part of it. That was back in Nigeria. You had just started lecturing, isn't it? And I pioneered what I call building your tomorrow today, and we tried to organize a workshop at the then Ogun State University. And yeah, over the years, the drive has always been about developing people. If you develop people, you develop your organization. You can, I mean, people are the most important assets. And my interest has always been on people. Of course, with people, you also have processes, and but it's people that drive the process. So my belief is that if you can develop the man can as well achieve great feats. And also, I believe that there is no limit to what we can accomplish if we put our mind to it. So over the years, I've had to work with people. I've I've encouraged and supported people starting businesses. I've helped people in getting jobs, training people into becoming entrepreneurs, into taking on careers that they never thought about. Well, it's all about pushing people to the limit. And of course, there's no limit to what we can become. So quite happy to be here tonight. It will be an opportunity to discuss further on how we can, build ourselves up to be that person we want to be. I also have what I called, start right in business, and that is geared towards helping startup businesses to, you know, start right and be successful. And of course, you know that most people start businesses, but most businesses fail within 5 years. And but if you start right, you will be able to, um, grow the business, and of course, the business would be sustainable um, over years. That's one of my passion too. In addition to the learning, like you said, I pioneered what is called PPDP, Personal Process Development Plan, and that's all about the individual planning uh, his or her day, year, and so on and so forth. It's about seeing the future and planning to achieve the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Yes, guys. I mean, this is just to let us understand the background from which our guest and discussant are coming from. And it's also to see from the point that they will be raising as we go ahead, and then of course being able to talk, from that, and then of course engage them in discussion. Because tonight it's going to be full, or today, regardless of where you are, it's going to be more of discussing around the need for planning and what tools to use, what best way to get things done. Because I realize that a lot of people have a lot of things to do, but we don't do it. We know what to do, but we don't do what we know. Okay. But tonight is to, or today is to help us. This topic is to help us see how we can actually do what we know so we can get results. That's all that is all about tonight. So, friends, without actually wasting time, let's dive into the business of the day as we discuss the importance of a new year planner. Okay. I mean, a new year brings fresh opportunities. We've been talking about, bring fresh opportunities, bring fresh hopes, aspirations, and of course, the promise of growth, particularly to those who want to advance from where they've stopped or from where they are. Because I believe that whatever it is you are in this year should be your limit. Should be the list to which you can actually grow. So there's opportunity for you to grow. Uh, and I'll tell you something, what is driving me into the next year is not even goals, it is growth. So from goals to growth. So it's good to set goals, but after achieving your goals, what happened? You want to grow. So it's from goals to growth. That's my philosophy in the next year. And I think it will help a lot of us as well. So, however, achieving our goals requires more than enthusiasm. Next year, 2025 is coming. What are we going to be doing? So it's good. The feeling is good. The eagerness, and sometimes we're anxious as well. In terms of the challenges that it comes with it as well. But it demands structure and intentionality. That's what we're talking about. So that's why a new year planner is an invaluable tool for strategic planning in the year ahead. So, without more wasting time, I think before then I see that Dari joining us from UK. Another person joining us from UK as well. Yeah, Chipuzo joining us from UK as well. Thank you so much. And then some people are on LinkedIn. I couldn't pick them, and some people are on the Facebook. So you are welcome. Facebook people, please put in where you are joining from. In your Facebook, you don't really want to put anything down, but it's all right. We know you are there, and we acknowledge you, we recognize you, and we are welcome. All right. So now maybe I should start with Mary. You have something to share, but while you are preparing to share it, could you please tell us why is it important to have a new year plan? And of course, how can a new year planner assist in setting and achieving those plans or goals you want to say?
Yeah, thank you. Before I try to share just a bit of kind of information on my slide, I would like us to look at the next year from a different angle,
Mm,
from a different point of view. I'm saying that because um, where the world is taking us now, we all know is a different is a different journey. Since we have the pandemic and all the things have changed, and the good things about AI and what's going on, we're all under this immense pressure,
Yeah.
right? And we all want to do something great. I'm going to start from what from my research because I went deep into this topic, and it's more about we're heavily immersed in the noises around us, and that's one of the areas I've been working at. So I want us to look at when we talk about a planner, let's not look at it now from the point of view of we want to achieve this goal or this, I want to, what we want to have. Say maybe I want to make $100,000 or, in next year. Rather, let's make it, I see a planner to be a bridge between your ideas and your result. And that thing in the middle is you. To me, that's the obstacle. Right. So instead of looking at what I want to achieve, like, I want to be this, let's look at it rather as when you want to put down your goal and everything, it's about what you want to become. What do we want to become? Because when we are focused and clear about what we want to become,
Mhm.
it's easier to start having a planner on the different goals to become that rather than looking at it from the angle we've always done. We all do this year planner, and by February we're back to normal. It's all sound interesting. But when you challenge yourself on what you want to become, I can give an example. Maybe I want to be, I want to become a better parent, for example, right? That is just one challenge for me. But under that, obviously, I have to have a goal into different things. Obviously, then maybe that's when the money comes in, where I have to be able to fund my children and our lives and other things like that. So I will look at a planner in the new generation we're walking into as defining that bridge in the middle, which is you. Who do you want to become, rather than what goals I want to achieve, and the rest can follow. And to get this right, I have four frameworks, which is very simple, and it's about clarity. So you have to have a clear view of that person or that thing you want to become. What is the success picture to you? How can you visualize that? And as well, accountability. You need to be accountable to yourself. You have to become the student, right? So your planner will be like an assignment and you'll be the student. And of course, momentum. So how do you become your consistency? How you manage your planner, how you divide it, how you make sure you manage your days, and all of that. And the lastly, obviously, is the system. You mentioned that earlier. What tools do you use? And how can you? To me, it needs to be as simple as possible, to be honest, because when we look at it, we're very mobile people. We're going everywhere, pressing this and pressing that. I don't see myself, because I want to take, if I've actually remembered to, you know, do something, maybe sort out my email for the week, and then have to go and take a calendar that I've done that. I don't think I'll be able to remember to manage that every day. So it's about making it as simple as possible. Maybe looking at what is the most important thing for me to achieve in the next quarter. So the slide I will show you now is quarterly slide. So I've got them in quarters. Like, the first quarter of the year, what I want to become, what do I need to do first? Maybe one task, complete the task in a week or two, go to the next task and do that. To me, it's simpler. I don't need to have two, four apps on my phone. Do you understand? It's just be more accountable and just seeing the result of what you've done. If you've not done something, you've not done it. And another angle is if you are a data person, it's okay. You can have different apps. Like, you can use your Google Sheets app, you can use Microsoft apps, you can use Trello, but I just use the normal. pen, rough and paper, and I know what I need to do, and I cross it off. If I've not done it, I know I've not done it. So, but to not waste our time, I'll try and see if I can bring my slide on. If you want to contribute to that, Mr. Lawal, while I'm bringing my slide on.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna leave that with Anthony actually.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I want to agree with Mary about you know the person. You know, it's one thing to have an idea of what you want to accomplish, but it's more important for you to evaluate yourself and know who you are and where you are going. Where you're going will determine the kind of effort you put into achieving it. But if you don't have a clarity of where you're going, um, of course, you're going to have a problem. You're just going to be like everyone who wants to do 1,001 thing and not do anything at all. That's where, what I call situational intelligence comes in. With situational intelligence, you want to have an awareness of your person. You want to know your strengths, your weakness, and you want to know what are your barriers, and of course the threats to you accomplishing the future you can, of course, conceive. Like I said, the future you can conceive, you can achieve. But before you can achieve it, I believe it's what Mary is going to be addressing in her slide. The future you can accomplish would be dependent on how you embark on that journey starting from now. And that's, of course, why we are meeting, why we're having this meeting, in order to plan the year, plan the future. And it's not just about planning, it's also about doing. I mean, there's no point in you planning and you cannot do. So I believe, once Mary presented a slide, we can then have more extensive discussion around this.
Thank you so much for that. I guess Mary is getting set and ready, and then just give me a thumb up if you're ready to go.
I'm actually sharing now, so can you not see the slide?
Lovely. Okay, that should be um, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to click on slideshow or hold on. We can see what is yes, lovely.
Is it better?
Yes, better. Thank you.
Okay. So basically, I'll go back to the first slide. So let's look at this from a quarterly action planner. And the reason I decided to opt for that, I've been using this model for, I'll say, good 3 years now, and it's just getting better and better. And it's the fact that I look at it from a business angle, because anything I do, my personal life should balance with my business life. And that's how I approach things. So I'll show you what works for me. And you can use that as a guide to work out what will work for you. So align personal and business goal with strategic monthly reviews. So what we do is you have a quarterly plan of your why quarterly plan action. And first we look at focus on your short term milestone within the broader annual goals. So you have a annual goal. So for example, I want to get a car at the end of the year. That's just an example. That's an annual goal. I need £10,000 to get this car. So what do I need to do? Am I going to be looking for £10,000? Because obviously you have other commitments financially. So it's best to split that into four goals in the quarter. Say, oh, I'll look for the first £2,500. Then I know that that commitment for that quarter is done. Because then that'll give you room to dive into other things. You see, so that's why it's very important to have the quarterly action plan, and it's not too, it's not pressurizing. It's just helping you to be consistent, and it's also a reminder that you're working towards something. It's not a perfection action. You don't have to have that £10,000 at the end of the year. But it would be a fantastic thing if you have 8,000, 7,500, because this is what we get wrong. We think we have to get to the end of that milestone no matter what. And that's the pressure that makes us give up. So to me, a planner is just a guide to help you ease into how you manage that goal. Number two is adapt to changes while maintaining alignment with your vision. Things will change. There's no doubt about it. We are living in a spiral world, is a life cycle. Things will change. When you have this in quarters, it's very easy to adapt, because whatever you don't finish in the first quarter, you can review, redraft it, brush it up, and go and add it to the next quarter. And what will happen as well, you'll be able to see actually if it really matter? Can I drop one of these tasks? So it's just like a checkpoint. And lastly, build momentum through measurable progress every 90 days. So every 90 days, they said anything you perfect, you do consistently for 90 days becomes norm for you and actually will manifest in your life. So even if you're wasting your time and you do it consistently for 90 days, it's going to manifest into your life. You see the result. So it's when you have attention to your goals, you are consistent, you know your purpose, where you're going. And after 90 days, you become a piece of cake. So that's what's worked for me at the 19-day rule for the quarterly action plan. Now, let's look at the structure of the quarterly planner. Please feel free to stop me anywhere if you have a question or something to input in this. So, this is an example. For quarter one, I will have what I call my SMART goals. So, I will define 3 to 5 SMART goals for my personal and business development. This model is unique to me because I did say earlier that my personal life and business life marries each other. They work together because I travel for work. I am a mobile worker. I commit to different projects, and I also build strong communication within my family life and my personal life. So obviously, I see that as one. So I'll define 3 to 5 SMART goals for that quarter. And on a monthly basis, I'll break each quarterly goal into actionable tasks for the next 3 months. So you have, for example, for the first quarter, you have January goal, February goals, March goal, right? Then on the weekly focus, I did mention earlier, I'm not the one that goes on with different apps on my phone and ticking the boxes and stuff like that. So on a weekly focus, what I do is identify my priorities and schedule time for execution. Right. My priorities, number one, I have to have my prayer and meditation every morning, no matter what. So that is a priority. That's one of the things I really focus on more. Another priority I know is I'm really not so good with paperwork. I'm not good at all. But I stopped doing that myself. But it's still a priority because the person I assigned that to, I have to make them accountable every week to make sure that goal is achieved. So you don't have to execute this yourself. And lastly, we have reflection and review. Obviously, you conduct a review of, what you've done. What did, is there any improvement? Is there any change? What do you need to do? You do that before you go to the next quarter. So, example of quarterly action plan. I'll give you an example here. A quarterly goal one could be I want to launch a new service. So in January, I will conduct a market research and finalize my service blueprint. In February, I will develop a marketing material and pre-launch a campaign. And in March, I will execute a soft launch and gather user feedback. This is very simple. We all have an idea what it is all about. But this is so important to follow it month by month, because when you're actioning something like a business, like, something you have to be exposed to other people, to find your customers, to validate your product, you are in the middle of the noise. And I can tell you, if you're not careful, you'll be there till 2028. right? So it's very important to identify those things and take it month by month, because by end of March, you would know if you should dump the whole idea, or if you are really the problem in the middle. Because I did speak earlier about the bridge between the idea and the result is you. So you'll be able to identify, and then obviously you have the time in the next quarter from April to to sort it out and maybe do a different planner, something maybe simpler, or even if you are a guru, maybe you want to make it more complicated for yourself. It's just it's like a stop checkpoint. That is all it's about, right? So on a monthly review, this is you need to motivate yourself as well. So I have my wins. What went well this month? I have my challenges. What obstacles did I face? Did you face? Then I'll have the adjustments. What changes are needed for next month? And the next step is we define key actions for the upcoming month. So that is simply how I review the month. And the benefits of a regular review is one, you will stay aligned with your quarterly goals. Mind you, we are focusing our goal on the quarter, not a year, although we may have a year kind of wish, or whatever we want to call it. But you split that wish into 4 achievable action plan. And the opportunity is that you'll be able to have a checkpoint and review how you've performed in the last quarter. And this is how business works. This is what work in business. We do quarterly review because then it helps us to prepare for the next quarter and goes on. And it will allow you, number two, to identify bottlenecks and opportunities earlier. If I give you an example, Mr. Lawa, when we spoke about this planner, I wasn't aware, I wasn't ready for it. And I did say to you that it's because it's actually in line of the current program I'm doing on my Pomodoro session. And that's the only way, the reason I'm getting involved, because it's obviously adding more and giving the value at the same time. So I'm not working outside of my plan. If someone has called me something completely different out of the box, I'll probably say no. This is what I mean. So it helps you identify bottlenecks and opportunity. Because you are focused on that action, you will see the opportunities. There's no way you will see it. And number three is celebrate the progress and maintain motivation. So you have to, give yourself praises. Don't be too hard on yourself. And like what we're doing right now is motivating. Find a way you can get motivated as well. Tax management is quite boring. So find a way to get motivated. And lastly, build a habit of intentional reflection and planning. So build a habit of really not being too comfortable, but looking at things and seeing how you can do it differently. My own differently is simply, what can I do that makes my life easier? Right. And I identify I cannot handle, as much as I'm into tech, I love AI, I cannot handle too many applications on my phone or anywhere. So I find a very simple spreadsheet, which is just one. I have everything on there because it's just quarterly. I don't need to have too many information on there. I have the first quarter, I have the first month, and I have the first week. And I just rotate that by, updating the information, and I have it for the following quarter as well. So that's what works for me. And I hope anyone can use this as a angle to review what they do and see how they can improve or even make it better um, than what I've got here. Yeah, so that is my contribution.
Wow, well, thank you so much. Thank you. That was great in terms of the tools you use, which you have graciously shared with us. Thank you for that generosity of sharing information. And I know that it's a tailor-made to your circumstances. It's designed for your own progression, and of
Yeah.
course, which of course can be used in any situation, be personal growth or in business development as well. Yes, I will want Anthony to say a few things about that, but before then, um, yeah, there's a reaction here as well. That's from Professor Ade. Professor, they're saying that partitioning our plans may be dependent on how stable the environment is in terms of economy, social, and political. Of course, technology as well. And you know what that means. And then particularly when you're talking from some parts of the world, or environment, put it that way. there could be some challenges. But again, I think regardless of the challenges, you are talking about, I believe your whatever you have shared is a guide to suit your environment, and of course can be adapted in order, or adaptability is one of the reasons why we are here, because again, planning without adaptability is also not complete. So things can be done. But anyway, I'll leave that with Anthony to make a reaction, while I will then come up with other questions.
Yeah, let me come in from that perspective of the environment. Um, every environment is unique, and at the same time, every environment has its challenges. Um, when we talk about stability, stability is dependent on what you have in your own environment, and how you can step back from the chaos in that environment to craft out something for yourself. Um, and that's where understanding, um, you know, who you are and what you want to accomplish is important. Um, I believe that commitment comes first in our desire to be anything at all. When it comes to new year planning and so on and so forth, we can make a lot of plans, and our environment can as well prevent us from accomplishing any of those plans. There is always 1,001 things to do. There is also roadblocks on the way, barriers more or less. But commitment to the values you stand for is very important. If you do not have the commitment and the resilience to stand despite the storms around you, despite the changes around you. Mary talked about the time we are now. A lot of things have changed the game. It's not like we had before. You have AI changing everything. AI is changing the way we work. Yeah, it's changing, the way we also think. So that, of course, means that we don't allow ourselves to be changed. We change our circumstance. We define how we want change to be. We should actually try to be the driver of change, in line with your environment, of course, in line with what you see around you and what you want to accomplish. That's where vision comes in. You can't plan without having an idea of where you're going. Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? Or what do you want to be known by? I always believe in identity. And identity has to do with the mark you are able to make. Even while you are gone, when you are gone, people still remember you for what you've done. That should be what drives everyone. And if that's what you want to be, then you know that you cannot allow yourself to be driven by your environment. You have to step back, because when you step back, you see more. If you allow the environment, you allow the challenges to determine how you react, then you become like, everyone, affected by the environment, affected by the barriers and everything. But if you step back, now step back enables us to plan. Step back enables us to see beyond what others are seeing, and to be able to come up with a plan. Those who set up businesses, they are able to do that because they allow themselves to step back. When it comes to business, I always say something. Everyone can see a forest fire, but skills lie in seeing in sniffing out the first smoke. And what that means for me is that is the first person that is able to sniff out a solution that will um, make the change, that will set the course for the future, more or less. So if you can't see the first smoke, then you would be like the others that will see the fire. So if you can see solutions before everyone sees the solutions, while everyone is thinking about problems, you step back, you're able to see solutions. And when you see solutions, you'll be able to plan. And that's where this year planner comes in. You've seen something that others haven't seen, and you want to work on that which you have seen and make it a product or service. And whichever way, whether it's a product or service, you are making a difference out there. I believe that's very important.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, that's very true. And also, Prof said quickly that plan can be a travel on the curve or a shift in the curve, depending on how growth is conceptualized, especially where the sum effect is development, which is true. Because again, um, we create our environment, right? When we're talking about the social problem, the economic problem, all these things are things that we created in the first instance. So and they were created because they were was with the intention of solving a problem for development. And so then for that problem comes in. And then, but then if further comes in, what do? You create another environment. So it's all about creativity. It's all about getting planning, just like Anthony said and then Mary said. It's all about setting things in place to make sure that you can get over it. Of course, there will be other challenges, whether
Mm,
you plan for it, intended one or unintended one, it's gonna come, but we'll keep moving on. If all is gearing towards development, and that's very true. Thank you
mm.
so much for that.
I think I just want to highlight something here. Even though Mary didn't mention it, but behind what she has, what she said, is that process of learning. Learning is an important part of planning. She talks about research. Research is about learning, wanting to understand.
Yeah.
And it's very important that when we are planning, learning also um, takes an important place in our planning. And we have to be able to actually evaluate the process of our learning,
Mm.
because it will help us in building something.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and can I also add, I just love the topic on the side of the environmental factors affecting you,
Mhm.
um, and also the learning curve. This is something, this is very important, because what I've found is it's okay to have a planner to say, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. We need to start asking ourselves, why was that not achieved? Even if I've put everything into place and I still have not achieved it. And that's where I'm talking about when I said about you becoming, knowing who you want to become rather than the results or the goal. As you say, we are in the midst of all this development, which is fantastic. So there's a lot of interesting thing going on. You'll find if you sit back and ask yourself, take about 4 or 5 things you've not achieved in 2024 and ask yourself truly why that has not been achieved.
Mhm.
If you're very honest with yourself, you will find that the answer is more within you, is the things you denied yourself to be the truth. Because we all hide away from that. Maybe because it's challenging, it's daunting. We don't want to believe that that is true about us. And we think, okay, if I just ignore that and venture out and do everything because everyone is doing it, and really not identifying what's affecting my action. It could be the environment, as you talked about. It could be
Mhm.
anything else. It could be you
Yeah.
when it comes to not identifying where you're going, who do you want to become? Because if you are clear and you've done that work, I think that's the first goal. That should be the first goal. Who you want to become. Your environment becomes secondary
Mm.
because you have hit the first hurdle of finding who you want to become, regardless of what is happening around you. Then the rest will be the challenges that faces you, right? And you can, as I say, you can now begin to identify, one thing or the other. I do this first. Even if you didn't achieve it, I can guarantee you, you will not regret taking that action
Mm.
because you know it's still within your purpose. What I'm trying to put across is we need to look at our next move in line with our purpose. Who do you want to become? I want to become someone that is genuinely bringing out the authenticity in me. That's who I want to become. That's what will fulfill me. Right. So actions that is not allowing me to achieve my goals, I'm going to look at that action. Is it because I have devalued my purpose, my being me, in making some certain decision? And obviously that's why the things didn't work. So I want us to look at it aside from the framework of, commitments and all these other things about who am I, where am I going in 2025 to becoming me. And that should be the first goal before any planner is put into place.
Mm.
Yeah, I think, I mean, in business, we talk about SWOT acronym, the SWOT acronym.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's important that we also apply that to our own personal development uh,
Mm,
in trying to understand who we really are. A lot of people spend their lifetime trying to understand who they are. Um, but it's important that we clarify that, because until we clarify that, we cannot actually define a way forward for ourselves. Because people will people would more or less define who we are, and not we defining who we are. And when we allow people to define who we are, um, we find ourselves in a place where we are not actually fulfilled. We can be making money, but not fulfilled. We find that money is not everything, especially when we are not where we should be, or you know where we ought to be. And so the SWOT acronym, that is strength, weakness, opportunities, and barriers, are really very important, because it will help us to clarify our person. It will also help us to clarify our environment better. Because when we understand our environment in line with our strengths and weaknesses, we understand what are the opportunities out there. Like I said earlier on, I mean, in the midst of all the challenges and things that go on outside of our within our environments, um, when we take a step back, we will be able to see opportunities. While others see barriers, we see opportunities.
yeah.
And where we see barriers, we want to look at how we can turn barriers, those barriers into opportunities for us. And that's what makes someone that plans the year different, because we can accomplish. We see where we are going. We are not just going into something blindly. We are going with clarity, and we are defining our path ourselves. And we are not people can, for example, when you start doing something, I always say that when you decide to make changes, the changes that you plan to make will obviously take you away from people who whose goals, whose aspirations are different from yours. And because you've been part of them for some time, they will tend to see you as a nonconformist, and you find yourself being on a lonely path. And that lonely path that you are treading would have its own challenges, because you lose the people that you are familiar with. You lose the people who want to define who you are. But you want to come up with, you want to have understanding of your identity and make a difference. But until you understand that the lonely path that you tread has a purpose, and it's because you want to craft out something for yourself, you want to be fulfilled. Until you understand that, you might as well be drawn back into that world where everyone is doing things the way everyone does it. And that's the status quo. But if you understand that treading that lonely path, it may be lonely, but it's for a cause. And you are planning that cause, you are working that cause. The time will come when the people who probably think you are crazy will begin to see worth in you. And at that time, you will be the person making the difference. You'll be the person influencing them and not them influencing you. And it's important for us to understand that.
Thank you, thank you. That's great. Yes, please, if you have questions at this point, please keep it coming, because it's just all about discussion, and we would love to attempt to respond or answer your concern and your question. Perhaps some challenges you have faced in the past. Let me try and do something here, because there is no future without necessarily understanding the past. Okay. Yes, because it's very important. The reason why we plan for the future is because of the lessons we've learned from what happened in the past, and that has nothing wrong with that. But again, I believe that one of the strategies that one needs to put to use, and one of the factors that you need to put on the table when you are planning for the future, particularly planning for next year, is to understand what exactly it is about this year that is ending tomorrow. Okay. You want to know what are the, well, it's up to you to review or to evaluate whatever it is, and then of course pick it from there if you're really disciplined and serious about progress and development. So let me start with Anthony. What are the benefits of reviewing and reflecting on the past year when particularly planning for the new year?
Well, first and foremost, the benefit is you. you know, you are content. Contentment does not come by, and it does not come through external validation. It comes through your understanding of who you are and where you are going. And so planning for me comes with an understanding that, yes, throughout this year, I've accomplished some things. There are things that I would have done better that I haven't done. And then having to, look into the coming year and evaluate what you could do better. And then what is still part of you, driving yourself. It's part of you. It's still you trying to craft out something. And I can't say, emphasize that enough. It's important for us to appreciate who we are and where we are going. Challenges will come along the way. And if we do not believe in ourselves, we are just going to be swept off by the storm, be swept away by the storm, and we will soon lose focus. We will soon lose the vision, because other people's vision will become our vision. So it's important for us to have that self-validation, believing in your worth.
Mm.
So planning is, I mean, one of the benefits is, you having that fulfillment that you are doing something. People may not see it, but you know it. Because what people want to see is what they see as what they define as success. Or what you want to see is where you are heading for. And it's a process.
Mm.
And you are building that process
Mm.
until people begin to see what you are actually doing,
Wow.
what you are building. That's when your success becomes what everyone sees. But until then, you are still building, you are still planning, you are still
Right.
believing, you are
Yeah.
trusting. And I also want to touch on something that Mary mentioned when she was presenting, the time for meditation. Praying helps us to build a stronger faith, because you are able to see your limits and then trust God to increase your capability, to increase your territory. And that's important. So when we meditate, um, we have more clarity, and we are also encouraged, in the journey. And it's very important. So it's also beneficial for us because we are actually achieving along the
Okay.
way. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, maybe you've got something to say quickly on that.
Yes, yeah, I just want to add that, yeah, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have a review of, last year, what you did, what worked, what didn't work. And the best way I would say to go about it so you can, you know, progress into 2025 is to be very honest with yourself
Mhm.
about what happened in 2024 before you embark on a new planner who does the validation. You should be able to validate yourself. You don't need social validation,
Mhm.
right? And by validating yourself, you'll be able to validate the results you can see from what you've done. And obviously, it may be good, not so good, bad, whatever it is, it's your handiwork. So that's the honest truth. It's not coming from anybody else. And then it will help you to have a clear vision of where you're going next. And for example, what are my no-nos now? Because I was able to see from last year what I did, not what people make me do, because you did those things or you didn't do them, right? And how am I going to avoid them? Are they unnecessary tasks that I should just let go of? It's not productive. I didn't gain anything. It could be someone having, maybe you have a task on your table, you have to commit 2 hours to it, you have your TV next to you, and before you know it, you're consuming another thing for another 4 hours. You didn't complete it. It's a roller, you have to be really honest with yourself. So that's validation. Another validation, it could be positive, where you actually seen the result, maybe from your clients, from not what they're saying to you, but what you can see has improved in their businesses. And that's one of the key things I said I've been successful with, like this year, where the corporate organization have been able to be part of the board, which I'm really grateful to be able to add my leadership skill. And I can see how they've grown with all the strategies and things I've done, even outside of my commitment, where I've just put in my own personal views and just change things, makes things happen, and I seen the results. So I don't need them to say that to me, so I can validate that, and that's the value I carry along into next 2025. I'll have a much clearer focus on
Yeah.
a new planner. This is now where I'm going. I'm not going to do this again. I will improve in this one. And just continue to validate yourself that way. I think it's healthier, and it makes it you much more intentional in your goals. You need to
Yeah.
have an intention why you're doing it. you know Obviously not selfishly for you alone, but if you love yourself to a level where you know that anything you put in yourself into, you're going to enjoy it as well, everybody else will. It's all wins, because you've put everything into it. Yeah, so that's what I see as one of the key areas you can review and look at in this 2024 to validate yourself and see what went wrong, what you did right,
Yeah.
why did it happen, how can I
Exactly.
do better, and move on to a successful 2025.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You've said it actually, and I think Prof also saying few things around that area. Say reviewing the past looks good in choosing whether to travel the curve or shift away from the curve. And it's all depending on the way things turns out. Now, in
Mm,
strategic planning, particularly when it comes to year planning, I understand that there are some framework that for me, there are so many frameworks you can use, but there are three things are very central to me when it comes to planning. And the reason, for instance, looking at the this year, I want to see, just like you both said, I want to see what is it that I've done well. What have you done well that gives you the result that you really desire? Then number one, you want to continue to do that, more of that. You see, you want to see where your time is more efficiently used, your skills is better, return, giving you higher return on investment. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about, just like you said, value, improvement. You see the process, you see the progress in the process, if you like, and you're enjoying what you are doing, and you feel more relaxed doing it, and you are getting more results. You want to continue in doing that. The
yeah,
second one is to see that, oh wow, what are those things that I need to stop now? It could be habit. It could be some areas that you thought, you know what, this has not given me much result. Even though I was telling some people, yeah, I think it was yesterday. No, yeah. And I was saying that it could even be sleeping too much that you want to stop. That, you know what, I'm stopping this year. Because if you have to repeat what exactly you have done this year in next year, I don't need a prophet to tell me what the result is going to be. You're just going to be the same. You're just going to repeat the same thing, and nothing will change. Whereas you can change and transform a lot of things, including your environment in which you are. If you know that environment is not helping you, and like why I know that if your environment is not productive enough or suitable enough, create your own environment. You can actually do that, you know, and that's also because you don't want any I mean, there will be limitations and challenges, but you don't want the one that you think you will now resort to say, oh, because of this I couldn't do that. That's what is not going to happen in planning. You cannot progress with that. So you want to see what you want to stop. That's what I
mm,
thought. The essence of reviewing the past will help you in terms of planning. And the last thing that I normally use is that what exactly it is that you have not done before, but that you can start. You see, reviewing the past will help you to know, you know what, I got to start this thing now. This I just have to start it. Because again, you're introducing new things into your system, into your progression, you're introducing opportunities. Yes, it will come with some challenges that you are likely going to review at the end of the day, or we can use the approach you use, the quarterly review plan or planning. So you can tell how you want to do that, because there is no point sitting here or listening to this if you have no intention for progress, if you have no basis for development. If growth has nothing to do with you, or you have nothing to do with growth, then you don't have any business in planning anything. Just let life slide you on and keep enjoying this life. But I can tell you where you're going to end, you know. And that's why you control. Even when the wind is blowing, you hold on to your steering, because you are now in control. The environment is turbulent, but you are holding on. That is what it means,
mm.
control and plan. And I think that's what is very important. And that's for me, that's why I think we need to reflect so that we don't repeat what things that we shouldn't be repeating. Yeah, Anthony, you have
Yes.
something to
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I want to refer back to the time you and I did that workshop, Building Your Tomorrow Today at Ogun State University. Is Olabisi Onabanjo University now, isn't it? Now, at that time, That's about 30 years now, going to 30 years thereabout. We had a lot of unemployed youth, graduates at the time. And because of the environment we were in at the time, the outcry there was that there was no job. All right. And I can tell you that today in Nigeria, the problem has multiplied, in multiple fold. But what we tried to do at the time, when we went to, when we, did the workshop at the university at the time, was to let the youths who were undergraduates recognize that um, university, was like a comfort place for them. And the time will come when they will graduate, and then they will have that 1 year, which they would use to serve. That's the National Youth Service. And some of them will probably serve in a good environment, more or less good organization, and probably absorbed. But majority of those who will graduate will eventually join the number of unemployed youths in the country at the time. And they will all be doing the same thing, which is looking for jobs. And they will be doing it the way everyone did it. But what we wanted people to understand is that they could actually start planning out their years before they graduate. They could see a career for themselves before they graduate. And the difference is that when they would have the opportunity to talk about themselves, they will be able to highlight things that others would not be able to talk about because they had been planning. And also, there will also be opportunities for this set of people to see opportunities in business, or more or less opportunities to start a business if they can't find a job. But what you had at the time was that whenever they graduate and there was no job, they go for their masters. And then you had increased number of people with master's degrees, no job. And then the next is to go and do another postgraduate program without understanding why they were actually doing it. But what we want to try and, what the mindset we want for people is not to be part of the problem, or more or less not to be carried away with the problem. There's a difference between problem thinking and solution thinking. Solution thinking has to do with planning out your future. It has to do with you telling yourself that, no, I'm different, and I'm going to prove it that I'm different. Then the question is, how? That's where the planning comes in. That's where you step back and you begin to see what others do not see. And so, when I talk about the environment we find ourselves, it might as well be an opportunity for us to be something that others might not see. And it's important for us to be able to see that also now, because the environment is changing. Wherever we are, in the UK, the US, the environment is changing. It's a global change that we are having. The way we define success 10 years ago is different from how we define it today. And we have to be at the center of the change. We have to be driving the change and not be swept away by the change. And that comes with the planning.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that's very true. Because of our time, I've got two questions here. and I don't know whether I will give it one, two. I just have to separate this. The first one, let me just post that as well. I'm gonna post the two questions, and then Mary can take the first one, and Anthony will take the second one. Just for us to, make sure we maximize the time as well. The first one is, what are some tips for staying consistent with using a planner throughout the year? I think your presentation actually addressed that. But okay, where do
Yeah.
we add discipline to this? Yeah, what are some
Well,
tips you
as I
to
say, just keeping it as simple as possible. Um, don't overcomplicate your plan. You make it keep it as simple as possible, and don't get overexcited. With all the ideas running in your head, and you want to save the world. And look at the most important thing. It's important for you to your growth, and that you can at least tick the box. That's enough to start with. And it's the practice. It's the practice. When we practice something, we put our time and dedication in it, and you see the result. It motivates you. So that's one of the motivation there. Uh, Another thing I can advise is, you mentioned earlier about maybe doing something different, adding something different, something new into your goal for next year. And that as well will help you in managing the loneliness that was mentioned earlier around it, because you can find yourself in this lonely environment when you choose to take yourself out of the norm and begin to come to find yourself. So adding something of interest, new interest into adding that to your planner can help. Maybe if you're not somebody that exercises a lot, maybe you want to go out first in the morning and have a jog, or you want to join other events or groups that can motivate you, networking. Maybe you've not done that before. So that's another thing. Time management is one thing to look at as well. How are you committed and disciplined with your time? And be honest with your activities during the day. If you can only manage 2 hours and do it diligently, that's enough, right? And distractions, the environment, what do you do to have an environment where you are within yourself? You are focused, you're channeled, and you can work within your time. What distracts you? Some people, they love to have music in the background. Some people, they don't want to have any noise around them. Some people, it's just what is around, it's just the energy around you that kind of like drain you, and you can't really kind of perform or do anything. You need to actually go within you and understand that. What are the distractions? What causes it? And look at how you can manage that. Maybe the way you set your table or the room you're in, the colors, what you like. I like my plants. I like to see books, because then I know, I'm learning or doing something with my life, because I love learning. So when I see books, it kind of motivates me. I like flowers. I like nice smells. So find that and have motivation drop. I would say lastly, motivation drop is having a conversation with somebody that you are in the same mindset, frame mind, and just sharing what you're doing. What did you do? Did you commit to that? Did you do that? Have those little drops. And yeah, doing that, you should find it as an exercise that is interesting rather than boring and not being overcomplicated. Just keep it simple and enjoy the ride.
Lovely. Before Anthony takes on the second one, yeah, Prof also added that you limit illusions and of course distractions, which is very good. Now it's own your plan, own it yourself, and then, like you said, be intentional
Mm,
about it. Just make sure you want to get result. I mean, score yourself. You're not doing it for anybody. You're doing it for yourself and for your progress and for your organization. So be intentional, make a difference. Your little effort, little discipline, little checks on yourself, be realistic. And all these things, that's where the SWOT analysis comes in. Check yourself, know what's your strength, know where you need to help, know where you need support. Go for it. Make it happen. You'll be happy at the end of the day. Anyway, Anthony, how can a new year planner help one in balancing between personal life and professional life?
Okay. Um, let me quickly highlight something that I also find to be of value. Taking notes. Um, when you have a year planner, of course, planning comes with ideas. I mean, each day you have ideas coming in. And if you are someone that takes notes, you will find what you put down relevant. It may not be relevant at the time, but maybe in 2 years' time, you look back to your notes, it jogs your memory and kindles something that will define the next path you take. So taking notes is really very important. I remember in those days, because when we talk about planning, you know, I talked about the workshop we did. I remember how I evolved at the time after graduating. Um, I I made a decision that I wanted to define something for myself, and I had two people who were like mentors to me, and what I found in both of them was um, their passion for reading, and both of them they were successful in the organizations where they worked. And I realized that both of them were members of the British Council Library. So I got them to refer me and I became a member. Now, I did not become a member because I wanted to acquire a certification or something. I became a member because I wanted to acquire relevant knowledge and skills for myself. And that started a journey that defined who I am today. And one of the things that I began to do, I found that there was one of these two people I mentioned had no cards. They're like postcards, and I realized that he would write some things in the cards and so on. So I now had the idea that why not also have cards like that? Okay. And I went to, I remember going to a printer and I asked the person, I bought some cards, asked them to cut it to the size I wanted. And so whenever I borrowed a book, I would write down some things, some notable things that I learned from from the book. And then I also developed a habit at the time, the habit of taking a walk. Now, I'm talking about an environment that was not conducive. Okay. An environment where there was so much noise about everything. Okay. So I had to step back from that. So whenever I took a walk, it was to reflect. And I would always have a pen and the cards where I would write down ideas. Part of planning. So coming back to the question you asked, what was it again? If you could remind me. Yeah.
Said, how can a new year planner help one in balancing personal and professional life?
Professional growth. So obviously you find that what I've just shared is relevant to that personal and professional growth because you are building something. And you as a person, you represent both the personal and professional. Okay, because if you are not competent, you cannot be relevant in your organization. All right, so part of you building yourself up is in order for you to deliver greater value wherever you are working so that you can grow in there. And if you are going to come out of there to do something for yourself, what you have been building will be relevant to you. So personal development facilitates your growth in whatever organization you find yourself. It helps to develop your career. Okay, now the career that you are developing may not be where you really want to be. For example, you may be working in a bank and you don't see it as the future for yourself. But as part of your planning, um, what's what you are building personally, okay, will be relevant to the bank that you are working, will be of value there. But more importantly, you will see the bank where you are working as a stepping stone to building something for yourself. Because within that organization, you have opportunities to develop skills, the opportunities to learn a great deal. A great deal. For example, Mary talked about starting out as an accountant, and then helping out in business and gradually building something that has become of greater value today. So when it comes to your personal and professional, it starts with you having that mindset that whatsoever you are building, whatsoever you are planning, okay, it's not just for you to build something for the future. The future actually starts today. All right. And whatsoever you do today has relevance for tomorrow. So when you try to be competent in your professional life, for example, where you are working, or if you are looking for a job, the preparation you are making to actually get the job will also be relevant when you craft out the future that you actually see for yourself. So everything starts now. You see tomorrow and you learn how to build that tomorrow. So it's all about building. You are building something and you see what you are building. You see what you are doing in whatever organization you find yourself. You see, the organization probably would have learning opportunities there, which you may not be able to access personally. You acquire those. And in acquiring those, you are more competent in that organization. People, they see you as a valued stakeholder, but at the same time, for yourself, you see yourself as growing to become what you really want to be.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you. Yeah, we're gonna be rounding up. Actually, we we've done great work, and I think I want to commend the discussant and of course our participants all the way from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You all been fantastic. Um, the tools that you shared, the tips and the nugget that you shared helps you in your personal life, helps you in your organization, helps you as a family. It's all about making sure that you have your personal projection, your family, your organization, and then find a common ground where you can balance the whole thing so that one is not affecting another one. And thank you, Anthony, for that tips you've shared, and of course the strategy that you use in making sure that can be achieved, which is possible. So, one thing I want to drop again is that please, as much as we can, let us try and avoid excuses. Okay. Yeah. I tell people, whatever excuse you have is known to everybody. No, you don't need to go to school to see reasons why you shouldn't do something. But for you to know how to do things right, I think you need to be in a place like this. And that's the whole essence of it. And that's why we're sharing experiences, we're sharing what you know, how you do it, and how it works for you, and how we can also adopt or adapt that to work for us as well. And that's why we're getting all this contribution here and now. So thank you so much. I don't. Now we have 2 minutes to leave. I'm going to ask Mary for our final words. If there's any advice, if there's anything that you would love to drop to someone who really want to be intentional in 2025, but doesn't know what to do and really want to get things done, what would that advice be?
Thank you. I would say to anyone who wants to be intentional for 2025, no matter where you find yourself today, this very moment, I would say just go for it. Go ahead and try it. Failure is a learning curve. Don't even think about the result. Just go and try it and have in your mind that you will do everything possible to enjoy the process. And that's the secret.
Hmm. Thank you so much. And then Anthony?
Yeah, I just want to say that the reason why we do what we do is because we want to contribute value.
Hmm.
And that's more important than anything. So if you can't see yourself providing value, then I would say that, all we're doing today is not for you,
Hmm.
because the very essence of our creation is to be of value
Yeah.
to the world at large. So when you are planning, when you are building, it's in order to provide value. And when you deliver that value, um, those who receive the value you provide, we go on to, acknowledge your worth, your substance. But it starts with you knowing
Hmm.
that what you do is for the greater good, not
Hmm.
necessarily for yourself. And you derive satisfaction, fulfillment in
Hmm.
doing what you really will to do.
Hmm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That just give me some kind of an idea. You see, what separates people is the action you have decided to take, or the one that you have decided to ignore. That's what separates people. We are all equal, but we are not therefore on the same pedestal, because some people take some action, and some people take action and they get result, and that separates them from those who are inactive. So please take action. I remember last year December, that was 2023. Anthony, we were at the board of Skills Mindset, and we're saying that we needed to start masterclass this year. We want to be running it once a month, and we thought it was not going to be a challenge. How we've never done it before, and I think we've just enjoyed it all through.
Yeah.
And this is the last one for this year. So we are trying to do things better. We are trying to make things good. Like you said, we just wanted to be a want to contribute to your journey of success. We just want to make sure we can add some values to you to help you in your journey. And if this Skills Mindset masterclass could help you to do that, please, we will have achieved what we are here for. And with all these experts and brains and professionals that we have brought, including Mary, the first lady on on our masterclass for this year, I think we've done well. We may not have done quite well in terms of gender balancing, but we're trying to make sure that we can sort that out by next year. It's all about checks and making sure we do things, better. So thank you so much for attending.
Thank you
Yes,
for having me. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. So the takeaways for me, and I think for everyone as well from today's masterclass, presentation, if you like, are that a New Year planner is more than just a personal tool or a tool for organization. It's a compassion. I mean, it's a company for achievement. It's a compass for achievement, or achieving success, and of course maintaining balance. By planning intentionally, like you said, you can turn your aspiration into actionable steps. Stay on track of whatever it is that we plan to do and you plan to do. Stay on track and make the most of the year ahead of you. Now, life is not defined by anybody in a particular way. Life is what you make out of it. So invest in a planner so that you be, a different person next year. It's an investment in yourself, and you can do that in your organization as well. And I think that summarizes what we are here today. So thank you all for attending and participating in this masterclass. We are going to try and run this one as well as a podcast, because we do podcasts as well. We have not been good at that anyway. It's supposed to be weekly, but apologies, we've not been able to meet our target. But we are trying. We've seen where we are shortfall. We see what we can do to support, and we see how we can grow. So we hope you find this stimulating and educational. So what has been the shared, what we have been shared today offers opportunities for deep insight and actionable strategy that can inspire you to develop resilience, adapt, and keep moving forward even after facing significant challenges. So by the time we meet next time, we want to see progress, we want to see growth, we want to see you happy and see what you can. And if you have challenges, we want to see how we can support and make things better for you. So if you have any question or comments or inquiries, please visit our website at www.skillsmindset.com and leave us a message. One of our team members will reach out to you. We encourage you to subscribe as well and follow us on all our various platforms so that you don't miss any of our episode or any part of our podcast or masterclass. I encourage you to approach every moment with courage and optimism. Keep pursuing your dreams with knowledge and unwavering passion. Until next time, next year, stay focused and God bless you. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all those who have been faithful attending all the masterclass. Professor Adesile, we really acknowledge and recognize you. Thank you so much. Dare, thank you, and all that are joining us from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Thank you so much. Season greetings to you. See you next year, and Happy New Year to you. To our guest, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. We'll see you next time.
The world is changing, and so does change. But the mind has the potential to capture the changing world and make every change count. At Skills Mindset, the leading global skills, strategy and corporate development company, we believe that the mind has the potential of transforming the man from obscurity to prominence. It's the reason why we make skills our business. At Skills Mindset, we stand for change, for development and for success. We challenge, we inspire and we lead. With Skills Mindset, your limit is just the beginning. Welcome to Skills Mindset. For more information about the great service we provide, please visit our website on www.skillsmindset.com or give us a call on our UK number on 07957 676 193. Better still, send us an email on info@skillsmindset.com. Skills Mindset. Challenging limits, maximising opportunities.
you.